Let's get started, and we're going to come down onto our backs to begin class. Take our block with us. This first pose this morning is going to be supported bridge. So coming down the line of your mat. And then taking your block, lifting that pelvis up toward the ground, up toward the sky. Feet flat on the ground, and then placing that block under your back so that it is on the sacrum or the lower part of your back where those dimples are. So feet will be flat on the ground for now until we transition. So opening our class today, hands can be on your belly or along the ground, whatever's comfortable. So choosing your height that you want for the block, finding that stability, and then just closing your eyes. And we're going to hold here for 5 long minutes. But we'll make some modifications about halfway through. So remember, at any time during this class today, if you feel like you need to come out of the pose, that's perfectly fine. So feel free to do that until you're ready to come back out. And on this opening pose, let's just start to pay attention to our breath and our thoughts. Just start to quiet down our body. If you want to go a little deeper into this stretch, feel free to walk your feet out towards street so your legs will lengthen nice and long. Or you can feel free to change the height of your block if you want to make it a little bit deeper. nice posture before we transition out. Enjoy the last minutes of it. And then slowly begin to walk those feet back in if you're extended. Lifting up that pelvis and removing the block. And releasing that back down to the ground slowly and carefully. And then rolling over to the left. Push ourselves up. And then we're going to get our upper block now because we're going to get deeper into the top part of your spine. So we're going to make a little platform for your back. Again, feel free to put it at a lower setting if you want to. Put mine on a medium setting. And then we're going to place like a T position. This will be for your head and this will be for your upper back. So finding whatever variation you want to do. You have many options. You can even do that if you want your head to fall back. And we'll have to make some adjustments once we lie down. But coming to, so that this block is going to go into the upper part of your spine instead of the lower back like we were originally. And then your head will fall back onto that block. So just take a minute to kind of find what works for you. There's no rush, so just make sure it feels really good on that upper back and that head and neck. And we'll be here for a good 5 minutes too, so
Not doing it right.
I'll help you out. So take this, I'm going to put this down. Okay, and then shove that onto your shoulder blades. Oh, your bottom one towards the ground. So you should touch this. Okay, so maybe separately.
Oh, I had to party.
Rear.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to come. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely.
So finding that nice steady breath again and breathing into any areas of tightness you might feel. If you want to, you can bring your feet to a bound ankle position So your feet would be coming together, like if we were going to do pelvis pose or butterfly. You can stay here for the rest of the pose and just like feel it position. Let's bring our knees up, and if you have your legs extended, let's bring those in. And then we're going to slowly roll off of the blocks. So transitioning off of the blocks. And then move them to the side. To a child's pose, so let's come onto your hands and knees. And then opening those knees to the outer edges of your yoga mat and sitting back down. Getting the blocks if you want to go into a shoulder stretch while we're in this pose. So I'm going to put mine here like this. And elbows will come down onto the blocks. Instead of moving down into the traditional child's pose. So we'll come down onto the blocks, your head should fall somewhere between the blocks. So once you find the edge here and what feels good, we'll be here for about 3 minutes. And now take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, slowly make your way up to Europe's pose. So just a kneeling pose on your knees. We'll only be here for a minute. So finding a nice tall spine, maybe closing your eyes, and we'll just explain what we're going to do. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers and bring them to the back of your head. And once you've done that, let's take an inhale here. And exhale, pull that neck down toward your chest. So just feel a nice stretch in your head. And then slowly from here, start to tilt your head to the left. And then just back to center and then to the right, just so you feel some different movement in that neck. And just go real slow to the left and to the right. And then once you get your chin back to center, inhale here, and exhale, slowly releasing that, arms coming down by your sides, and come into tabletop. We're going to do cow face pose, so let's bring our left leg up and around the right. And snuggle those knees in toward one another, and then have a seat onto your bottom. You can always feel free to bring a block under your hip if you need help, or you can extend that right leg out if you want to if this is enough for you. But I'm going to go ahead and stay in the full version for right now. So once you get here, grab that nice tall spine. We're going to take our left hand behind you, and then we're just going to tilt that head to the left. So you should feel a nice stretch down the right side of your neck. And we're going to just hold here for 1 minute. Letting that right arm be long and heavy. Take one last inhale here, and then exhale to bring that head back up to neutral. Hands on your feet, take an inhale here to lengthen your spine, and then exhale to come over, coming down over that front leg. You always have the option to use your blocks to support your head if you'd like to do that. Let's exhale to come up to that nice tall spine. And then let's unravel those legs. And then come to tabletop once again. And then once you get here, let's just go into some movements for our spine. So tilting your head to the right. And then tilting your head to the left. Kind of swiveling that pelvis if you can to match the side that you're tilting your head to. So as if we could get our head to our pelvis. And then coming back to normal tabletop, let's just do some cat and cows. So belly slipping down to the ground, inhale, chin to the sky, exhaling to dome that back, curving your spine, inhaling your belly scoots down, and exhaling you curve that spine. So at your own pace. Coming back to that nice neutral spine, we're going to now take our right leg up and around the top, over the top of that left leg, snuggling those legs in toward one another and then having a seat. Find that series on the other side. And this side might be totally different than the other side, and that's okay. Feel free to modify by bringing your left leg to be straight if that feels better. This is a version you can take. So finding where your edge is for this pose. Finding a nice tall spine on an inhale. Bringing your right arm behind you this time. And then we're going to tilt our head down to the right side, feeling the stretch all along the left side of the body. Taking one last inhale here. Let's exhale and bring that head back up to neutral position. Having your hands on your feet and inhale to find a nice tall spine. Let's exhale to fall forward, curving that spine over the legs. And holding here. exhale, slowly make your way back up to that nice tall spine. And then we're going to come out by coming to tabletop once more. So unfurling those legs. Maybe giving those hips a wiggle side to side. Push yourself up into one of the probably only downward facing dogs in today's class. So tucking those toes under, pushing those hips high to the sky, rounding those hands into the ground so that we're not shrugging our shoulders, but we're actively pushing away from the ground. Feel free to have a nice bend in your knees since it's a softer class today. And then just start to walk out those feet. So inhale, curl on your toes, and then exhale, one foot down at a time. A few active stretches with you today. Movement. Taking one more inhale here, feet back towards center. Exhale, knees down to the ground. And then make your way onto your belly. So just coming to lie onto your belly. And once again here, we're going to take our left arm and we're going to place it across our chest so that it's going to the right. So your left hand is over here onto the right. And then your right arm can go straight out in front of you or just anywhere along the side. So finding a position that's comfortable for your head. If you need to bring a block to lay your forehead on, you can. But if you can take that look down to the ground, just lie it there. You can do that. This is a nice deep shoulder stretch. So we'll be here for 3 minutes. So make sure you're comfortable. Wandering during class today. You can bring it back to that breath. And in this pose, you can bring it back to that sensation of your breath becoming one into the ground. one last deep breath here. And on the exhale, let's slowly come up out of that, so releasing that left arm. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose, so forearms to the ground. Elbows directly under your shoulders. Tops of your toes flat. Inhaling that chest that is scooping up and away from the floor. Broadening those shoulders so we're not punched, but we're trying to open that heart center. And then finding a nice neutral position for that chin. And if you'd like to bring a walk, we'll be here for a few minutes. So if you want to take that walk, place it right where your forehead can fall. It's a nice alternative here. Taking one last inhale here. Let's exhale to slowly come out. And then this time, we're going to take our right arm under the left, getting that shoulder stretch on the right. So falling down onto that shoulder, modifying as you need to. Forehead down to the ground. Trying to maintain that neutral hip position into the ground so we feel the stretch in our shoulder. Remembering that the sides might be very, very different. So just offer yourself some compassion. nice posture. Let's exhale to slowly bring that right arm out. And we're going to come back into space again. So your shoulders will be directly over those elbows. Forearms flat on the ground. And pull it up so that spine gets nice and long. And we give the option, since we've been here once before, to stretch those arms out to be into the seal position. It's a little more intense because we're holding here for 3 minutes, but this is always an option. Slowly release that. We're going to come up to seated. So just pushing yourself up to tabletop. Moving really slowly if that spine feels vulnerable. And just coming to sit down. And then we're going to need a block for the next thing that we do here. So taking your block, you just need one. We're going to place it to the right of you, so probably so that it's parallel to the top of your mat. And I'm going to use the medium setting. Feel free to use the lower one for this one. And we're just going to lie down over the block so that your rib cage comes over the top of this block. So the upper part of the rib cage, armpit area, is going to come to lie down. And then bringing your elbow to the ground so that we're kind of just resting our hands resting our head into our hand rather. Just find a position where that block feels okay. Right under your rib cage, closer to your armpit. Your knees can be bent or you can even have them long. I kind of feel like they should be bent today. And then your left arm can be anywhere that feels comfortable. So once you find your position, let's just find the stillness of the pose, and then we'll just hold. We'll be here for 3 minutes. pose is actually activating a meridian line that runs along the side of our body, and it's hitting a pressure point with this block. So while it feels like we might be doing little, we're actually doing more than we know. One last inhale here. We're going to exhale and slowly make our way up to seated again. This time switching the side of the block. So I'm going to pivot the legs over to the other side. Bring the ball up to the left. Find the height that works for you. And then positioning yourself down onto that block. This time, bend your wrist onto your left hand. So the three phases in yoga are, the first one is finding the edge, which we do at the beginning of the posture. And the second is to find stillness in the pose. So it's okay to sometimes, scratch your nose and change a position, but mainly we try to become as still as possible, both in the physical body and the mind as well. And then the last thing that in yoga, last phase would be letting time pass. So just allowing your body to have time to stay in the posture, and the longer you stay, the deeper you go. So just know that when it feels like we're not doing much, our body's actually stretching deep into the fascia of our system. And the way we do that is by these long, slow holds. Same inhale there. Let's remove that block slowly. And now we're going to come on to our back. So no matter which side of your mat you're facing, you can just lie down. And I'll talk you through the rest of the class. So lying down onto your back. Making that connection to the spine of the ground. Maybe rotate, maybe wiggling your hips from side to side. So keeping those knees bent in. Extending those arms so they're out straight or they go up to a cactus. And we're just going to tilt both hips to the left. So letting them both armpits, both legs to the left, letting your legs fall down to the ground. And then your head can either kind of look up toward the sky if you like a softer version of the stretch, or you can even look inward toward your feet without really any tension on your head. If you do want that neck stretch, feel free to look out to the right side. So knees to the left, knees to the right. Last inhale here. Let's exhale to bring those knees toward the center, toward the midline. And then take another inhale here. Exhale, let those legs fall to the right. This time your gaze will be to the left, straight ahead, or to the right for a softer version. Exhale, slowly bring those knees back toward the middle. Once you get here, let's take those arms, pull that torso off the ground, and give your legs a big hug in. Take one last inhale here, squeezing everything in. Then exhale, let's fall into our Shavasana. So legs will be open, toes will fall out to the outer edges of your yoga mat. Palms face the sky, your arms spread out a little bit away from your body. Allowing any areas of tension to just fall away. Softening your jaw. Letting the weight of your pelvis fall into the ground. So for these last moments of class, just see how deep you can fall into this relaxed state of Shavasana. So as you're ready, slowly begin to come back to the sensations of your body. And then we'll say the class is done, so feel free to take the time to look at your postures. And thank you for your practice today.
Thank you on this cold day.
Thank you for coming. It's hard to leave the house when it's so cold.
Yeah, that's a horrible.
Yeah, luckily mine's in the garage, so it does help a
That
lot.
helps,
Yes. No scraping or waiting for it to thaw out.